I did it.
Hi.
I did it. I did it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night.
Good
Whatever
morning.
it is where you are. Truly, the Gangsta Grannies Global. I think we hitting 3 continents today.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
I think we're hitting 3.
Wow, wow.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Y'all had to make that market run. Started my day off with rum raisin ice cream. 30 cents well spent.
I saw that.
Let me take myself on home. Nah. For those of you that are in our northern neighbors.
Stop it.
Don't be petty is what my daughter says. Don't be petty. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. I thought we've done some of the follow-up with each of you, each of the cohorts after they left, and I thought I would just to kind of close it out as I work on editing the videos, be able to just gather you guys so that you guys have an opportunity to talk and share together, and that may be just valuable sharing from your perspective on the other side, back to your lives out of sabbatical mode in this way. And I didn't have a whole lot of questions. I wanted to see how you were, have you guys check in how you are, where you are, and then just share if after leaving you've done any additional healing cycles, so just speak to that. And then you guys can talk about whatever. I figured an hour to 90 minutes, depending on what y'all got to say. And let you guys just drive the time together. So welcome. Thank you all for participating in this work. It's a work that I'm passionate about and a work that we're expanding. I mean, even literally, I am 9 days away from embarking on my way to the Soul Safari. And I'm just so moved by the people that I'm working with. Jashuki is the visionary for Tabasamu Africa Hub, and their vision is to train the youth of the world into this new paradigm of how do we become leaders that heal. And so a large portion of our participants are going to be leaders from Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda, who are already committed to leading our youth. But he, as the leader, has said, but we have to do it with healing. And so he and the rest of our team have been in training since April to prepare for the retreat, to be able to take this to them, because this work is about living the walk. And you can't tell your people they need it and you don't get it. And that work has been transforming the work that he is doing internationally. And so I'm super excited about even being able to do that. And the work that this, the social science work that was behind this particular initiative of our last season's Heal Together is part of how we evaluate the effectiveness, evaluate the way that we offer what we offer, and a whole bunch of other things that happen behind the scenes that a lot of times people don't see. Some of the individuals that are in our leadership training right now will benefit from the evidence, the training, the bits and pieces of what happened in that initiative. So gratitude to all of you for the commitment and the trust to be able to come way down here south of the equator, almost sight unseen. I don't think I knew any of you in person, face to face, touch in person before you came. And so I appreciate the trust in me and in this work to come down and participate. So that's all I got. That's all I got for y'all. That and soursop and my fresh coffee with cream. Wait a minute, hold on. Before we go any further, I just want y'all to know the joy of my life. This for real. I found a butter delivery. One of my neighbors. Fresh artesian butter for $2.50 a pound to my house. You guys know the kind of joy that does in my soul, that I ain't gonna go all with it for real. Down butter. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's it for now. Use your mute buttons, because what I've noticed that Google Meet will do is it flips the video when someone else, it just hears a sound and it'll flip the video. And I already am going to be doing raggedy editing. So y'all just help myself, and try to use your mute button in and out of your conversation. No, really, that's all I got. That's it. Welcome, y'all. How are you? Where are you? Any healing cycles done after you left, and then you guys share about the experiences that you guys have had, or reintegrating, integration, whatever you guys feel called to talk about. This is where you really can share whatever it is that you didn't say that you may want to say, or that's come up for you. So,
Bangkok.
Mike.
Bangkok. We're in Bangkok. We've been here since the very end of last month. I celebrated my 71st birthday here. So that was fun, you know, cake and all types of good stuff. But Bangkok has been quite interesting. And just one small bit about it, when you're in Spanish speaking countries, you can understand some of the letters and stuff and put words together. It's just pretty squiggles in Thai. Okay. Nothing looks like anything you've ever seen before. It just looks pretty. But Lorana, you would love the snacks. They are glorious.
Yes.
They are glorious. They are so different from things that we've eaten before. Yeah. That part. So yeah, it's been a joy in that respect. And a lot of respects. We found a nice place to be and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. So for those who may be curious, yes, we are still co-living.
Yeah.
And we're doing it even more successfully after having graduated from the 2025 initial Gangsta Granny cohort.
Yeah, really, because and to talk about, it's been life-changing. I don't think that there's a lens. I don't have a different lens to look at the world now. In real talk, you know, it's always evaluative and striving for truth. You know, not the fluffy story. Give me the real thing here, so that I can bypass maybe steps 3 and 4 or something, you know, and get to what my responses are about things, you know.
Yeah.
It's been a good way to shortcut bullshit. Most of the time, there's so much bullshit that's sitting in front of us before we even get to why we act in some way. And social tech just gets right to the meat of that. And I'm most appreciative of that.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. And the fact that we are still together after having done this intensive 30 days, you know, being able to hold one another accountable and remind one another, wait a minute, is that the fact?
Dang,
you know, how you feeling and why are you feeling that way? And going into not on a formal basis, kind of check-ins with one another as far as a feeling circle, but regularly just, you know, tapping in and saying, hey, you good? Because this was a huge change for Wendy, going from, you know, being in the United States and having a home base there.
Yeah, because I went back home to Michigan in April and sold my house.
Yeah.
And my car and all those things, you know. So that's been a really big adjustment for me to get to that. And I don't know if I would have done the transition as well without January.
Yeah, for sure.
I may have gone back home already, you know.
Set us up for the ultimate success. Yeah. So eternally grateful for the opportunity.
Real talk. And to piggyback on what you said when you first started, you know, about not knowing the ways of the reasons that we were there. I knew less than all of you, because we've talked about that. I had a whole big story made up in my head about why I was there. I was going to be co-facilitating.
Tell them, Wendy.
I was co-facilitating at a healing retreat. And ain't nobody told me nothing like that, okay? I just made that up because I didn't know what was happening. And it sounded good. And I brought credentials and everything.
So, Wendy, you started off with learning social tech face on. Maybe share about that, about being able to set boundaries in our lives with taking on other people's stuff, taking on perceptions, and Lorana reading my mind when I come down here. Maybe share a little bit about that, because sometimes when we talk about community accountability, we want it to be nice and fluffy, and we don't want to be held accountable. And this work really teaches about being able to have honest conversations, being able to decide which part of your emotional work I should take on. And it's not that we can't, but it's about counting the costs. of what that means for us and whether we move into that place of martyrdom, those unhealthy ways that we do codependency, where codependency is making us worse instead of making us better. So maybe speak to that, because you kind of got it like right up where like some of the video clips are like, I'm not supposed to read your mind. Like, I mean that for real, in love, but I mean it. I mean what I said. So maybe share about like being able to receive it from the receiving end of accountability, but then also about really processing what that meant and whether that felt relevant to the work once you kind of saw the work and how this work really incorporates into your life.
It was totally relevant on so many levels, because first and foremost, as I said, I was making up a story about why I was there. I had no idea that it was just me and you and Diamond going to be sitting down on the couch. I thought that there was some sort of class situation. And honest to God, I can't tell you where I got that from, except for just the folds of my brain, all the little wrinkles and things that are in there. That's where they were housed. It showed me right then and there two things: that I'm responsible for me and my thoughts and my feelings about things, not thrust that upon someone else. I have said to Diamond since being there how gracious you were with my bullshit, because you was looking at me like, yeah,
That's a you problem.
that's a whole you problem, but you didn't say that. You just let me spout on and go upstairs and figure out, no, that's not why you was there. Okay. So I appreciate that. A lot of times there was grace in your delivery of things, but in that particular instance, I just understood how well my powers of imagination are. All by myself. Yeah. And then I can stop
That's
it.
life. Thanks, y'all. All right, come on, welcome us, one of the other ladies.
Okay, I can go next. I just got notified that my car is ready, so I might not be here for the entirety of today's session, but I am at home in North Carolina, and I have not gone through the full cycle, like any additional cycles. What has changed for me is that now I am counting the cost of interactions, things that I'm invited to, deciding if my life currency, can, I don't want to say withstand, but yeah, I'm just making decisions from that place. Also, making decisions that are aligned with my values, which I wasn't doing before I came. Like, I thought I was, but looking back, I really wasn't. I mean, so many times. And I just remember something you said that has stuck with me. I mean, lots of things have stuck with me, but I think it's the Maya Angelou quote, when you know better, you do better. And, you took issue with that. And I can see that in my own life. Like, I have known better so many times and still made the decisions to go against what my values are. And so that has definitely shifted. But the thing that has been the most interesting for me is the reintegration. I really didn't think that it was going to be so impactful for me. I mean, from the moment that I got back to Miami, but it has taken me more time than I thought to really be here. And so I think that's why I haven't even been able to sit with doing more healing cycles, because I've really been working to be present in my life and not be, I mean, so much is happening in the world and so much is happening in the United States. And I'm surrounded by people I love that, are not doing the work that I'm doing and are consumed with the state of the United States and consumed with a lot of things that, while I may see headlines and I allow myself to feel whatever it is that comes up, I'm not consumed with it. I am my full-time job now. And so my joy and my happiness are taking precedence. And yeah, and so right now, I am just leaning into joy more and giving myself permission, not even permission, just saying, this is what I want to do. This week I went out for live music one night. Last night I went out to Art Crush in downtown. And these are things that I love to do. I love to be in creative spaces, but because of the heaviness and things that I have been carrying for so long. And so me coming to the second cohort, the July cohort, really is still reverberating. Like, things are still unfolding for me. They come up all the time and I'll be like, oh, this is that thing, or this is attached to this. And just making decisions from a new place and looking for what really brings me joy, because I feel like that's going to usher me into the next place. And in saying that, something that brings me joy, and no pressure to anyone, but I just wanted to gauge if there was any interest here, because of the work that I'm doing and because of the work that we all have done together. I used to facilitate virtual circles and in-person circles. And that's something that I still like, is still close to my heart. And I would do it on the new moon, because that's a time of renewal and planting new seeds and how you want to move forward for the next month. And just curious if anybody here is interested. And again, like I said, no pressure or anything like that. And I usually do them on weekends that are closest to the new moon. So I think it's like, I haven't looked at the dates, but I know they're like around the 21st or the 19th of the next couple of months. And even if I don't start then, which I think I'm still going to start in November, and if nobody shows up or however many people show up, that's fine. But just wanted to put that out there, because that's something that gives me joy, is holding space for people and letting people talk. And so it's no advice kind of space. It's a space to share celebrations, to plant new seeds, to do some reflecting, and just be together for about an hour. So just wanted to put that out there and
share some new stuff that's happening. Go on and share. There's some Wise Heart Garden, and let people know what you're supposed to do. Like and subscribe, whatever they be saying. So share some of that too. And yes, that's a point of connection with some things that we're working on. So we'll talk offline about our Women Heal Together and our Black Women Heal Together circles. So let's talk.
So Wendy and Diamond, y'all don't know me, but I take in lots of different perspectives. And I'm not just kind of I'm just a seeker. I love to learn. And so I incorporate a lot of different things in my life, and human design, gene keys, astrology are things that are fascinating to me. And so what they've shown me is that, and I know it to be true, these are things that I have judged myself for and thought that, what's wrong with me that I like to learn all these things, and I don't really have a community around that. And so these things have basically shown me that communicating is something that is huge for me, seeking, learning, and then sharing what I learn. And so I'm just starting out with a YouTube channel, and it's really pushing me in ways that I hadn't imagined. I'm 56 years old or young, 56 years young, and learning so much. And the work that we all did together is really helping me to move through that and to keep going. And so I'm asking for, I'm just putting it out and asking for 50 subscribers there so that I can go live, because I feel like I can kind of flow and do better in those settings than when I record things and try to go back. But that's a story I'm telling myself, right, Wendy? That might not necessarily be so, but that's what I'm telling myself. And so so I'm learning how to do all of these things, and can so resonate when Lorana is talking about something being raggedy and she's got to learn. So I'm in that stage of learning and sharing things. So Wise Hearts Garden is like an extension of my business, which is Wise Heart Wellness. And basically I was seeing clients for somatic coaching, for Reiki, for energy work, for mindfulness practices. And I'm in a state of flux and change and trying to figure out what the next steps are for me, because I really want to lean into what really expands me and excites me. And so, yeah, that's where I am. So that's the reason for me getting back to doing the circles, because that's something that I loved. And I don't know what else you said, Lorana, but that's where I am currently.
Thank you. So definitely let's help her amplify that space. Thank you, Wida. Danielle.
Ooh, Danielle is coming to you live from Northern Virginia, and was so grateful to be a part of the July cohort, and thankful to have time to connect with Diamond prior to me coming. She was gallivanting in the DC Metro, and we were able to connect before I came to Ecuador. So I'm just excited about that. I have done one healing circle around a situation since I've returned, primarily around work. I'm still a working grandma out here, and just making my way to my sabbatical in 2026. And I just keep repeating that and telling that to myself and anybody else that is in my hearing, so that I can give myself the encouragement to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I think that, a situation unfolded at work. And let me back up. Going through this process and this healing work helped me gain a lot of clarity about my core values, and very clear where I was compromising for whatever relationship. And so it became very clear at work. In my work, I'm head of HR, that I lead and do with high empathy in a very unempathetic senior leadership team that is very business focused. And they have to do what they have to do, and I understand that. But I just realized that, I think Wida mentioned it, just the price, the toll that it's taken on me to toggle in that space of being people-centered and heart leader focused. And, trying to bring people along, and people say they want to grow in these areas and they want to expand their emotional intelligence, but they don't really want to. Their words do not align with their actions. And so I've had to show up very differently. So going through a healing cycle really helped me carve out, Wendy, the facts that I had to sit down with my boss in our next one-on-one to be very clear. Remove all the fluffy language, all of the corporate packaging that typically is there, and just be very clear about, this is what I will tolerate. When XYZ happens, this is how I'm going to move and show up in that space. And so I don't want anybody to be surprised, because I realized that some of the ways that people were even talking to each other, they weren't even talking to me, but I started being much more attuned to the environment and how I was like shape shifting to still be there and be. And I was like, I don't have to do that. Like, I'm just walk out. I'm walking out of these meetings when people start talking crazy to each other. I'm walking out, and I don't want people to wonder. So I let my boss know that. That's one. I also revisited a couple of my journal entries, around some serious traumatic events, and just did a little bit more writing and journaling and going deeper into some of the sub facts. And it has just really helped me process some things. It's helped me move forward in, another avenue one of these things is associated with some things that happened to me in the military. So gaining clarity, it helped me move forward through, process that I'm working through with the Veterans Administration. And so again, just very clear, the facts, moving through it. And I just feel like I'm clearer in my language with everybody in my life. It's very clear. And finally, just trusting myself. That has been hard for me most of my life. And the healing sabbatical just helped me again, like listening to my body, recognizing heart rate, breath. When I'm just tired and like just go lay back down, like there's no more push through. Again, Wendy, I can relate, like just the story. For me, it was just that story of like what I have to do, because no, who told me that? Like I'm telling myself I have to do these things or this is going to happen. I've made up this catastrophe that I just made up in my mind. And so it's like, no, just girl, lay down. Lay down, get your second cup of coffee, take a nap. I have embraced napping. You hear me? Napping. Embraced it. So I could go on and on, but I've just, again, for me, it's that clarity of more knowing of myself and more intentional living, because we the global grannies out here. We got more time behind us than in front of us. And I'm trying to maximize what's in front of me in my full authentic being, and only doing things and being with people and being in situations that I truly want to be in. And the rest of it, nah, later, bye. You can't have that time.
That's real. My life currency is valuable. Most of my life has a theme song or a playlist that goes with it. And the theme song for the Gangsta Grannies Global really is my own internal motivation, is a play on Stevie Wonder's song, Pastime Paradise. And the person that sings the version that really in my mind connects with the Gangsta Grannies Global is Mary J. Blige. And she sings a rendition of it called Time. And she's saying, there's more years behind than forward. And my takeaway is my time is valuable. My time is important. We pretend like our age tells us how much time we have, and that's a fallacy too, that none of us know beyond the next second what we really have. Our health sometimes is a fallacy to you got time. But the reality is that time is not on our side. So therefore, not out of fear, but just out of purpose. Like, are we doing our life intentionally? Am I intentional about how I spend my energy? And for me, I have gotten intentional, and I'm fine tuning my intentions of I choose to spend my life in places, in motions, using my energy and my life currency in ways that feel good or meaningful or relevant or passionate. And being able to be honest about that in your life. Not that you walk around telling folk this is what I'm doing, but that you live your truth. That the fear and the insecurities and the guilt stop leading us so often, more and more, poco a poco, into actions that really rob us of that time that we have. You know?
For me, it feels like a new birth of this season of my life. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like everything's new, everything's clicking in a better way for me. And I thought I should have sent you a song. One of the songs, Mariah Carey has a new album out, and the first title track is Me. And it's like, I don't care about much if it ain't about me, is the chorus. And I just love it. But I think I saw a hand. So let me stop talking. Mute myself.
feel free to, whoever that was, jump in. And then if there's other things that you feel you really want to share that you haven't been able to speak to, feel free to share that.
Well, I guess this was kind of for the three of you. We had this journey to do together. What was it like for you, Wita and Danielle? And you, Lorana, there was a different dynamic, I'm sure, between two people that are sitting there and knowing that they're getting ready to go chop this up. And maybe, I don't know what type of relationship the two of you had when you got done with all of this gut-wrenching stuff, and then you climb those 4 flights of stairs. What was your time like? And
Unmute, Wita.
Sorry. I know that Danielle and I had a couple of conversations around that. And for me, it was fascinating because I'm just in a place of trusting that things that happen are aligned for me. And in this case, it totally worked out. Or for me, it did. I can't speak, for Danielle, but yeah, it was interesting that we didn't know each other at all. And yet we were able to live in that space together, walk up those steps together, coordinate washing our clothes, and if we were going to go out together, or if we were going to be in our rooms. I think the communication was wonderful. I think that's the thing that really stands out to me, because we would let each other know what we needed, what we were doing, and yeah, and so that's the thing. Sorry about that. That's the thing that stands out to me, and I'm forever grateful that Danielle is the person that I was there with. I'm not sure, but I think I answered your question. So I'm gonna say goodbye probably in about 5 minutes to get my car. But I wanted to be on, if Danielle was gonna answer, speak to that as well. So
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I think similar to Wita, first of all, I'm gonna back up and say her and Lorana would leave me behind with all of the earth and energy and spices. I feel like I was just a fly on the wall listening and gleaning. It's this whole synthesis that they have that was so beautiful. And I'd be like, okay. And I was writing things down or putting it in my phone. But anyway, that was a funny thing I just wanted to share. I feel like I was on the outer orbit, watching these wizards, I don't know, just coming up with concoctions and spices. And I got to be the recipient of all of their cooking adventures. So thank you for that. But I think I had trust in Lorana in terms of the first time I ever heard her speak. I just felt this instant connection through YouTube, through the internet. And so I really trusted that whoever she had vetted through her process would be someone that I could be okay with. And then the second part was the communication, as Wita said. I, felt like in our pre-meeting, it was very open to talk about what we needed. And, I let them know I'm a little introverted and I like being together. But if I'm quiet or if I'm just in my room, I'm not upset. That's just kind of what I need. And I was also working while I was doing this as well. And so we talked about that openly. And then for it to be Rita and for, just our personality clicking, our just general logistics in the house, it was like the icing on top of all of that because it just clicked together so well. Just in terms of noise or cleaning or, girl, I need a snack. Are you walking up that street? Oh, did Lorana make popcorn? What is happening?
We can identify.
yeah.
And it was just very, very easy from the beginning. I mean, even with, getting there, and Weta ended up, well, I won't, that's your story, but we ended up having a bit of a delay, but ended up traveling together. And that was important to me. And then later, she shared it was important to her. And so I just feel like so much came together that was just beautiful and organic and like exactly how it was supposed to be. And I was over here like fake panting because I was struggling with those steps the entire time. Like I could walk miles around Cuenca. The altitude didn't bother me, but getting up those steps, I think I even shared with Weta. I was like, I think in all the conversations, I don't think Lorana told us we got to go up these flights of stairs. I did not recall this. Maybe I didn't ask enough questions. But no, I struggled the entire time. I never got my breath. So I'd be like, Weta, just go in front of me. Like, I can't, if we were ever on the stairwell together, I made her go in front of me because I was slow and panting and tired. And then finally, on that note, I have to say, Lorana was a wonderful nurse. And clearly she's acclimated because she would run up and down them stairs. If we needed anything from, special tea that I needed to when the hot water wasn't doing what it was supposed to do for my shower. She was up there like lickety split. So I aspire to have that level of endurance because I did not gain it.
So it takes a little while to get acclimated at this elevation. Regular life can take place, but we encourage you to slow down. And then speaking to really the co-living, one of them, the real foundation of this work was that we don't have the tools to be socially sustainable. The whole body of social tech work is about creating the tools that allow us to be socially sustainable. When I work with individuals, whether they're building intentional co-living spaces like our umbrella houses or guest houses or the way station, or whether they're building intentional communities, they're building the scope of the communities, I start with the social tech. Because that gives you the capacity to even make the decisions about co-living. Do we want to live together? Do we have alignment of values? And those points of connection are strong enough for us to be able to live together in peace. Because oftentimes in community, there's no right or wrong. It's just choices and preferences. But being able to have the tools to communicate those, can you be honest with yourself? If you can't be honest with yourself, expecting you to be honest with me about what you need in community is unrealistic. It's just not logical. And so too many times when we don't have the skills to have honest conversations with ourselves, we aren't equipped to have honest conversations with others. And when we're talking about community, when we're talking about living together especially, but whatever those points of connections are, this as a foundation has been one of the things that has helped be able to do the other parts of even deciding if we should live together. But all of our houses, wherever they may be, and we're looking to add more houses to the Global Underground Railroad, we'll have this as a foundation. It's a common language. It's a common conflict resolution model. It's a common communication model. It's a common way for us to be able to hold each other accountable. And it's like air traffic control. If we all can speak the same language, it reduces the opportunities for confusion, for misunderstandings. And in community, that's the stuff that kind of just becomes so painful. And in many cases, without those skills, you can't overcome it. And so we live sometimes in proximity with the resentments and the dishonesty within us and in our sharing. So I hope that even having these tools help to make the co-living experience two strangers. The only point of connection, we're both committed to doing our work. That you could take people, and if that is the only connection, and that's what our work says, if that's the only connection you got, we can go farther together if we have these tools. It doesn't avoid conflicts. It just says we have the capacity to deal with it when it shows up.
I find that to be very true. And though Wendy and I have been friends, very good friends since 2022, living together is a whole nother game, right? The first week that we moved into our new apartment, it was very frustrating for a lot of the reasons that Wendy shared earlier. The language barrier is real in Asia, but just getting basic services that we needed because we signed a lease. This is a big deal. We're not sharing an Airbnb. We have signed a lease to live together, and it was just a frustrating week. And one day it was like, okay, we're not getting the delivery we thought. I'm frustrated. She's frustrated.
No internet.
No internet. It's just frustrating. Somebody came to install the internet, but they couldn't do this portion of the job, so somebody else had to come later or the next day. And so it was a series of disappointments. And so we found ourselves being quiet with one another, but being able to get to the facts. Like, this ain't got nothing to do with you and I. We're frustrated because of what's going on. Circumstances are making us frustrated. So we pulled back and we were like, okay, you good? Yep, I'm just pissed, at what's going on. But had we not gone through and done the work, we might not have been able to have that honest conversation, and it could have been misinterpreted. Right? Did I do something to you? Did I say something to you? Being able to have those honest conversations when those difficult times arise, which they were, it's just an extra added bonus to have this toolkit. And then I'm going to also add that, boundaries, to be able to reevaluate boundaries as you move forward. I am doing that with my daughter, who is finally just wrapping her head around the fact that, nope, I'm not going to be around for the holidays and your birthday in December. And this is a choice that I've made for me. There's 13 hours between where she is and where I am. And I'm like, don't call me first thing in the morning because you had a frustrating day. It's the end of your day, but it's the beginning of mine. Let's be respectful of the fact that I don't want to start my day with anything that's been upsetting to you all night so you can go to bed because you have messed up my morning. So being able to have those honest conversations around setting boundaries. And I think as your circumstances change, as your situation and station in life change, it's really important to lean into this work and remember that, this is your life and it is me season. And that's really, really okay.
I want to say goodbye and thank y'all for everything. Thank you, Lorana, for this opportunity. It's definitely life-changing, life-giving, and I'm just sending love to y'all in your new space and sending love.
Thank you so much. Love back to you.
Thanks, Rita. Have a great weekend. Thank you for dropping in with us.
Thank you.
And then, ladies, anything else that you haven't been able to say and that you feel you really want to share? About your experience or life after your experience or your healing journey, or what you got for the people?
It's very hard to reintegrate, and all I can think about is entering into a space like that again. So I'm able to do it like personally and relationship wise, but as was stated earlier, with some of the things happening in the US, that I'm still working, and the other like financial economic pressures, I'm so ready to leave it all behind. And so I'm very excited to have been exposed to a different way to live, again, from the inside out, but also, looking at like Diamond and Wendy and making these decisions to even geographically find the place that is all supporting, everything that you're doing. And not to say it can't be found in the US. I don't think I can find it in the US and be economically secure at the same time. And so I am, like in this liminal space right now of, I've experienced this thing. So, anybody that participates in this, know your life is going to change in many ways, and you may not fit back where you came from. You may not fit back into environments, whether that's work, geography, spiritual, whatever it is, because it's that much of a transformation in my experience. But I don't have like the fight or flight or all of that. It's just about knowing there is another way and working my way towards that complete freedom to fully live into my transformed life.
I can agree with that. I also have come to see I need my feeling words right now a little bit. But my tolerance level for some conversations I just don't have anymore. Where somebody is bullshitting themselves, and so they're bullshitting me too. And we had an instance last night of a person that lives in our building that invited us out, and we went out, but I just didn't feel her energy, and I turned myself down, and I'm usually very animated. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. But I just wasn't feeling her, and it never came up. And I never felt any different about her. And that lets me know that I don't have to be around you. And that's okay. Other Wendy might have felt obligated to spend more time. And I don't feel that way anymore. So thanks for that too, because I have truly adopted that since January. If I'm going to adopt it for real at all, it's been since then.
Yeah. And then, we are in a space emotionally where we can share this with other sisters in general conversation. And I try, when I see it evolving into that type of a conversation, I try and grab my camera and record it. Because, Wendy real good at like, okay, no, that's not the facts. And where are you getting that from? And what are you standing on? And so I think it's just very important for us to stay authentic and transparent after the experience, because that's really the only way that we're going to be able to share it and it resonate with other people. So when you see it thrown up on my YouTube channel, it's, it's to help and to open up eyes, because that's what happened with us, right? Your eyes were open. It was like a purple top moment, an epiphany in so many different ways. And, it's just transformed the way we see life. You can't unknow it once you know it. You got to really consciously work to unknow this work, if that makes sense.
To go back.
You can't go back. Like you said, it's hard for you, Danielle, to, get back to the quote unquote norm. You got a new normal. The boxes are gone and the shoe no longer fits. So why are you trying to jam your foot back into it? Because it doesn't work anymore. And it's okay for us to know and operate in that fact. That doesn't work for me anymore. I'm not even going to try it.
All of that's so good. Thank you all for sharing. Some of that is the intentional process, part of bringing people away, part of why this place is called the Way Station is really about having a welcome mat to a different paradigm and saying that whatever your life is going to become, if we're talking about a different kind of freedom than we've talked about in the past, it's going to be, this new paradigm is going to be the kind of freedom that says it's got to start and emanate from here. And part of the warning I give people when they come for the healing retreats or the intensives especially is it's going to make it hard to go home. It's going to make it hard to go back to your life, because once it's uncovered, a new layer, a different layer, a different perspective, a different set of glasses on, some social tech glasses, life will look differently. Life will force you to be a little more intentional about the choices you make, because you will know better. And then you have the opportunity and the tools to help you choose differently sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to go back and begin paying American rates for food, or seeing the difference in values where the farmer's market is your most affordable place to be able to eat versus, and I come out of agriculture, where that food is going to be the highest premium priced food, or the pace of life. And so part of that is about really this being a place that gives people a feel of the direction that we're going when we're talking about moving into a new paradigm of community. And that really is some of the intentionality of this work. And that's probably a good segue for me to share just some of the things that are coming up. Since you all left, right after the Gangsta Grannies left, I made a huge decision to close the guest house. There were some contractual issues that were going to create some potential financial liabilities that I was not willing to take on, and made that decision. And that's what this work is about, being able to say, it has to work. It has to be a win-win for everyone, or we do not go forward. We're not doing martyrdom anymore. And that created a wonderful experience, opportunity. You may have seen this new season coming, but shortly after that decision was closed out, we had the opportunity to open a brand new guest house, 1 block away. The funny thing is, it's a single family residence 1 block away, also facing the park. It's down towards the police department. Other changes, they moved my store from right next door to down the street, so the other house is actually closer to the store. It's a bigger, expanded store, and our space is expanded. It's a single family residence where all of our common spaces are on the ground floor. However, instead of 3 bedrooms, we have 4. We have 2 private suites, 2 semi-private suites. It's let us add 2 co-housing rooms, 2 dual occupancy rooms. So we now have 2 very large bedrooms. One has 2 full-size beds. One has 2 queen-size beds. And so it's increased our capacity, some additional play and programming and partying. It has a better kitchen, so we will definitely be doing all of our eating and partying down there. And as we go into this current season of Heal Together, our focus is on the umbrella house model, being able to show people, give people the opportunity to come and experience it. We're encouraging people, if you're trying to step out of the old paradigm, this is an affordable way to be able to do that, to come and do a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and really be able to know what the cost is. Our rates, when we've recalculated after individuals do the training, none of our rates are more than $500. I think they're all around the $400 range for the first 6 months. And those that want to stay on in Cuenca specifically, I think the rates drop down to about $250 a month, $260, under $300 a month. So there's some opportunities for individuals that may want to make this the entrance place to a new kind of freedom, wherever in the world they may be. For those that may be looking at affordable ways to be able to break out of the hamster wheel that they're in and be able to relocate with a fixed cost, to be able to do the healing and the housing together. So that's an opportunity. As some of you probably know, I'm getting ready to be on my way to Soul Safari. I'm super excited about that. And one of our leaders sent me a message saying, I'm already crying. I'm already crying about this thing. But we'll have the opportunity. There's a few from the diaspora going over, but a large portion of the cohort will be leaders who teach youth in Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania. And Tabasamu Africa Hub is leading this charge, and they will become another one of those international welcome centers. They have a facility that allows individuals to come and do retreats or other kinds of activities like this. And they will be doing it now with a leadership that is Healing First trained and living. And then the work is going to be spreading from that. So that's a exciting opportunity. And then this season also is focusing on not just the Umbrella House program for participants, but also the house stewards. So individuals who are wanting to look at the commerce piece of it. Individuals who are healing centered themselves and who may want assistance in training with setting up umbrella houses globally and joining the Global Underground Railroad with their safe spaces. And so both of those are a focus, but the other side of this year's Heal Together focus is on healers who heal together. Individuals who are in spaces of healing of all kinds of modalities that want to come and learn, undergird their own personal healing journey, and incorporate this work as a foundation piece to the healing that they do. And in that vein, one of the types of healing modalities that we are going to be working on this year is our theater artist in residence program. We will be hosting we're still putting the details together. I have a graduate fellow who's coming. She's on a graduate fellowship and doing international work. And so we're going to be doing a prototype of that. So if you know of individuals who are interested in using the theater modality, we'll be doing a prototype of that artist residency. We'll be doing it as a 1-month intensive. The artist residency is designed to be a 3-month intensive that works with some of the tools of theater, using these healing tools in theater. And so that's coming up. We're working on finalizing the dates around her travel schedule. She's coming and going to be offering her services here during her fellowship. And so we're trying to coordinate that with her. But if you have individuals who may be interested in the theater as a healing tool, the 1 month may be a abbreviated version of that for them to come and work with us, participate with us as we run this and kind of work the kinks out of it in the prototype phase before we offer that. So that's going to be happening soon, probably towards the first of the year. Looking at some other potential guest houses globally. But one of the other things that we'll be doing this next year is really building a team for our intentional community building. We've got 2 projects right now. We're vacillating between the project that's here in Ecuador, and we've got a permit-ready property in Georgia that back in the States to be able to compensate that affordability and healing together piece. And so we're looking for partners that really feel called to that. We're looking for those who are in the construction trade specifically and feel called specifically to that. Construction and agriculture are the 2 pieces that might be really relevant in that, but also healing. This could be individuals who really have a vision for doing community in the systemic way. And so we have the opportunity there. It has the potential of being a pretty big project. We've got the capacity to do up to, I think, 23 units on that particular project in Georgia as well. So we're looking for people that feel called to join the team in that way. We're also putting the call out for individuals who want to come and connect with this work in person. We are looking for an administrative partner, someone who feels called, their calling is administration, in helping us with the development work, but also those who may feel called to organizational design. We've got several of the entities that I want to put some additional effort into over the next year. And this really is calling in a team that wants to do this work together or sees an overlap in their purpose to do that. So super excited about the new, the Capulis Pamba Riverview Umbrella House. The joke for me is, so you've gone off the 4th floor and then you've contracted with a house that's a 3-story house. So all the regular stuff is downstairs, but all the bedrooms are on the 2nd and 3rd floor. So we do internal. This is where the universe forces you into an exercise plan just by default. Lifestyle gives it to you, but I'm very happy that it feels like it meets the same quality standards and just comfort levels that, for me, nice spacious bedrooms and space to be able to have aloneness and time and nice bathrooms and showers. And we've got a courtyard space. Some of the other Heal Together work that we'll be doing under the Healers Who Heal Together is with the indigenous community. The fully transcribed version of Revolution Must Come to Our House, Our Home has been done, and we are working with one of our Andean doctors and part of the Ecuador Psychedelic Society on doing some things. We're hoping that the artist residency we do is going to be able to be bilingual. We're working the kinks out of that, but we'll be working with them, and we'll probably spend this year prototyping the expansion of the Healing Vacation Retreat that will bring in our indigenous leaders and work with some of the psychedelics and some of the other indigenous medicine. Their review of the work, and we've been working towards this for some time, but the relevance for them, some of the challenges they're having with plant medicine of people using it like a drug of choice. And you get the high and then you come down and then you want another dose. And they too have seen the relevance of doing this work first and then supporting it with the indigenous medicines. And so we will probably be scheduling some just some prototype versions of that to just make sure that the fit works well. But I'm super excited about that. I'm excited about the translation that's happened and really working with Latin America to make sure that nothing's lost in the translation process. So that, and then there's some other things brewing. This Africa trip is super exciting to me. I'll be visiting some places that I hope eventually will have other way stations, guest houses, or international welcome center. I'm making some relations where next year I will be doing a personal sabbatical with a sister in Malawi. So I'll be going back to Africa next year. And we've been in some talks about some future work and intentional community development there in Malawi. They said hectares and my ears perked up, healing and arts and land. And so
Excuse me. Are you going to see Burkina Faso?
So
are you going to Burkina Faso?
Me and Lama Red Pajama Girl are
getting ready to taking. Are you going to see our man? My man, your man, our man.
Birthday trip is loading, so let me tell you, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing other than shenanigans. So my trip, I will finish my theatrical production next Sunday. Lord Jesus, woo! This pretending all these emotions is taking energy. Whoo! That keep it real, and then going back to not keeping it real is messing with my energy flow. It's taking the energy out. But the show finishes Sunday and I'm out on Monday. And I will be, unfortunately, and I'm a little concerned, positioning myself out of JFK. So I'll fly from Guayaquil to JFK. But then I will go spend a wonderful day in Cairo, Egypt. I will then move on to Nairobi, Kenya. I'll be meeting up with one of my grad school professors. There's a dream connection that I want to have, and there's two men that were in my graduate studies work as the leaders and the instructors and teachers, and I said, one day I'm gonna go back and work with them. And I felt called to reach out to one of them, and he says, I'm in Kenya. Excuse me? You in Kenya? And me and this other one we working together. So I'm the only one that ain't in this circle right now. So I had the opportunity that he's setting aside some time to meet with him. I've got some expat ladies that I think I got a coffee date in Nairobi. I'll be going and spending a day in Eldoret where I'll be meeting up with Davi. I don't know if any of you know Davi. Davi Mosey is collaborating with me on this under the banner of Kuba International. She and I will meet up in Eldoret, Kenya, and she and I will be going to Kitale, Kenya to Tabasamu for 2 weeks. We'll be doing some pre and post training with the leaders. And then in the middle of that time, we'll have the retreat. But then I'll be wheels up and I'll be on my way to the night market in Tanzania. I'll be going to Zanzibar, spend a couple of days there. I'm going to be meeting up with an expat who's building off-grid shipping container homes in Zanzibar and eating. And then I'm going from Zanzibar to Kigali, Rwanda. I'm real excited about Rwanda because when we talk about paradigm shifting, they were really the precursor. They were the pre-Burkina Faso of where I began to see the social paradigm shift on the global and begin to get traction. And so I've been watching Rwanda for some years now. And so I'm really excited about being able to go to Rwanda and just put feet there. And I want to go to the museum and really see where they've come from. And I leave there and I go to Accra, Ghana. I'm excited about that. I'll arrive in Ghana on my actual birthday. I got somebody planning some birthday happenings while I'm there, but there's also a gentleman who's in the work of what's happening with diaspora as it relates to Burkina Faso. And he and I have had the opportunity to have some conversations about how we can integrate healing into that diaspora movement back so that we can avoid some of the problems. the American superiority issue, the healing from the post-traumatic slave syndrome, so that we're coming back in a healing trajectory. And so he and I are going to have some time together while I'm in Ghana. And then Davi is based in Ghana. So whatever else jumps off in Ghana, I'll be leaving Ghana and going to Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. And I'm going to see what I see. I'm going to see what I see. I'll be leaving there and spending a short stay in Casablanca in Morocco. So I'm excited to be back in Morocco this birthday trip again. Different part. I was in Tangier last year, wrapping up my birthday trip. I'll be wrapping up my birthday trip in Casablanca this year. I'll go do a short stay in Madrid, and then I'll be heading home directly out of Madrid. So I'm super excited about just the trip, and birthday trips always get my joy for no other reason. This year's theme, last year was the music, this year's the food. I'm going to see what I can eat my way all around East and Central Africa, North Africa, and then bring myself on back because I got 2 days left on my visa. My permanent residency visa application went in September, and I'm not sure if it'll be done before I leave on my trip next in a week or so. So I'm making sure that I'm at 88 days out of my 90 in case I have any travel delays. I got a little wiggle room. It's because getting that permanent residency is a path to having a visa, having a passport somewhere else. And that is also high on my list of getting a passport so that if my blue passport is travel impacted, that I've got some other options on how to move so that I can maintain the freedom that I want. I want to be able to move when I want to and go where I want to go. Not because somebody's told me I can or can't, and sometimes what's happening with our passports are stopping that. So I'm super excited about that. Me and Llama Girl will be traveling and sending Mars updates. And now the rest of my grandkids who are much bigger than Mars are like, we need to follow along too. So Emma especially, I now have an adult grandchild who is watching from Instagram, Grandma Blanket's escapades. So I'll be tapping in on that and sending video updates. Grandma Blanket and Llama Red Pajama Girl, who was named by my 3-year-old grandson. So as exciting as it gets, so our llamas will be traveling together by video as I go explore other places and do things that I'm really passionate about with people who share the passion for being a part of the solution. So I'm grateful for the opportunities and connections that relationships really yield. And if we do it together from a healing perspective, we can go so much further together. So I'm grateful for this opportunity in life, the freedom in life to be able to.
That all sounds so incredible.
I'm getting ready.
Incredible.
We got me a new backpack.
Before we go, I really wanted to say, we should put equal emphasis on the affordability factor because as mentioned earlier, trying to figure out how to make the math is something that I think hinders a lot of people, women in particular. If you are not, in a marriage situation, how do I stretch this money? Which, we're entering into fixed income stages in our lives. I think it's really important for us to talk about, financially, how feasible is it? We're living proof, bless you, we're living proof that, your money can go further in a co-living situation, but in a co-living situation that's healthy, right? So, $500 a month, I think that is so affordable for the majority of people. And even if it's a little bit more, find your comfort level and understand that there are real options outside the United States to live a life of freedom. So I just wanted to kind of add that because I think it's an important factor in making decisions. People may be like, yeah, I can't afford to leave. You can't afford to stay either, is what I tell people. So anyway, my 2 cents. And yeah, I heard what you said about Davi and jumping in, and that's, she's the jump rope queen. So have fun with that. She's a lot of fun.
She's going to be our dance queen on this one. So dance and movement will be one of the healing modalities incorporated here. So We're excited. She already crying about it. Oh, girl, get your goodies together and come on here. But I understand. This is part of our point of connection where her vision, and she and Jashuki go back about a decade. And there's been the vision of wanting to be able to do a retreat there and be able to pull that in, and just timing, life and timing is, when it's time, it's time. And so I think for the two of them, this is where they're seeing a greater fulfillment. And then on the space of cost, one of the things that this has always been about, the umbrella house has always been about, we know we need healing, but the reality is you got to have a roof over your head and food on the table to even be able to do that. And for individuals, this current season at the current pricing, individuals who have participated in the healing, got to do the healing first. That's a non-negotiable. You can't. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work well. But once individuals do the healing, our current rate right now, the cheapest rate, and this is a semi-private room in one of the houses, is about $4,100 for the year. And so someone's overhead, living overhead, that doesn't include food. We tell people here, really, if you just bare bone, you just want your freedom, that if you've got that, plus about $250 a month, you can have a very comfortable lifestyle. That's way different than a lot of places. There's a lot of places internationally that works for housing, but we show people this is housing and the healing. That $4,100 plus your training. Our healing vacation retreat is $2,500. They can do that. They can also do the intensive as the point of entry, but that's $6,600 for the year for healing and housing. Only slightly more with a private suite. Probably another, I think the difference in the cost span is maybe $50 or so difference. I think there's about a $50 difference per month for individuals who want to be in one of the private suites. But even that, $50 a month is about $600 a year. So we're still only talking less than $7,000 a year for healing and housing. So by all means, I'll be doing more talk about that as we move into this season, where that will be one of the focuses, that you need healing and housing. You need housing so that you can do the healing, and that individuals can come and do that. Here in Cuenca, we've got the space right now, individual capacity. We've got, what do we have? That house occupies 9 individuals, So if there's 9 individuals that say, I need freedom, like right now, literally, that we have the capacity to be able to support that. And so for individuals who want to be able to say, I cannot figure out life from the unhealed perspective, and I need help getting to a healing perspective and changing that pendulum swing in this direction, that the call is do what you got to do and get your $6,600. And if you've got that $250 a month, you can eat good, and learn how to take the bus. But that there's so much available to you at that cost point, and then trying to then create life from a healing perspective. For those that need income streams, then there's the opportunity to learn how to do the healing vacation retreats, learn how to operate the umbrella houses, and we show them the other side of that, commerce metrics for what that looks like as far as ongoing income, to be able to stay free. To get free, that's what it costs to get free. But to stay free, we also are able to help people with that. And this is available to anyone who has the need, but it's only available to those who are committed to healing. And I'm very non-negotiable about that. My non-negotiables mean non-negotiable, that if you're not doing healing, there's a lot of options for you, and we love you. But if you are committed to healing, then here's what we can do to be able to help make it affordable, to help make your transition affordable in a place that I think is very heart-centered. So it's a soft cradling place to be able to step out of that and take the break with life, and then be able to decide what life looks like from that standpoint. So help us share that, help us amplify that. If you run into the individuals who are saying, I gotta go, encourage them not to go in fear. This is an option that is available. When we throw numbers out, sometimes you hear people throw numbers out and it's like, well, that's, in theory that could happen. No, these are actual numbers.
Yeah.
These are actual numbers, and we have ways to help people if they can't afford all of the incoming training up front, that we have ways to be able to help them with that through work exchanges or other ways that we can help them with that. We can even prorate that over the course of their block of time. If they're going to be here 3 months or 6 months, that we can work with them on extending minimal credit, but to be able to help them space that out if that makes it easier for them. But they got to come with the commitment, because we ain't got none of that for them, you know. So definitely help us this year amplify that. You run into people and you hear their stories, and the numbers of it, sometimes they just don't. And sometimes it's nice to be able to have a place where some of that has been worked out. There's people that can go pick you up. There's people that can work with you if your Spanish is not good, that know the healthcare system somewhat, that we can guide you to be able to meet your needs while taking that sabbatical. So muchas gracias para helping us share that opportunity. It's a solution out there for some, and help us to connect with those that this might be a good solution for. I don't think there's many other programs that can match the cost of doing housing and healing. And this is part of our work of, if this is what we need, it's got to be affordable. It's got to be sustainable, but it's got to be affordable, because we need it. It's kind of like food. We need it. That's going to be the help. Let's try to figure out ways to do that. And we show people how to do that. So help us share that. Help us share those opportunities. Yeah.
I just want to say, really quick, I am planning to come back, so I will be getting my deposit together and booking me a room. Probably at this point, looking at July of 2026 as I'm mapping out my sabbatical. And I feel like a pull for some things, but I'm tired. Like, I just want to rest. So I will try to be a help to you, but I know I'm gonna just be laying down and going to sit by the river. That's all I can offer at this point in time, going into next year. But I have been sharing, because so many people were curious about, we were posting the videos and such. So hopefully they'll take the plunge in terms of, like you have always said, it's South America, why Ecuador? And I try my best to answer those questions. But I want to quickly, first of all, I'm just grateful for the internet and getting connected with all of you. I don't think I heard Diamond talk about her swimming retreat, and I just want to shout that out, because part of what I've been focused on is getting back into my body. And I did learn basic swimming this year, and the timing just did not work out for me to participate in that retreat. But it's something that I do plan to come next year as well, for that next level. And I think that's just a big part of it for me, just that play factor of and getting comfortable with my body. And swimming was a big part of that for me earlier this year, prior to coming to Ecuador. So I just, if possible, I'm going to give a little commercial break on the situation, because I think it's so powerful.
Thank you so much for acknowledging the work. I really appreciate it. And, Lorana, I know that you can appreciate the level of work and detail that goes into pulling off a successful retreat, but I am so overjoyed to share that 8 women who were aged 30 to 70 conquered their fear of swimming in that retreat. 3 days of intensive swimming. I say 3 days straight. We had one woman who was afraid to even put her face in the water the first day. I can't do this. And the camaraderie, the support, the encouragement, that all these sisters came like-minded to conquer this fear. And I can say that all 8 of them left as swimmers. And so, including myself, because I always say my fear was probably the biggest of all. And then, of course, pulling double duty, making sure that the retreat was successful in every element, and learning to swim was a dual challenge for me. But I've conquered that fear. I can't say that I'm a very strong swimmer, but I am not afraid of the water anymore. Our mantra was, the water remembers me. And so every time I get in, the water is a safe space. And so again, just overjoyed that it was a success, that all of us left as swimmers, including my co-living mate, Wendy, who was our oldest participant. So
Be me.
yeah, we are committed to this work, to attacking the swim disparity within our community. And I'm committed for the next 4 years doing this retreat. So come one, come all. And Danielle, whatever level you are with your swim journey, you will, yeah, well, me too. It'll be elevated, at the swim retreat. So I'm super excited about it. And thanks for asking.
Congratulations. Healing is healing. Overcoming your fears. As a child, I almost drowned. And even my scuba diving is like an in-your-face revolution to limitations of being able to say that I don't have to fear it. I don't have to fear this, and that it then opens up so much more to my life. Exploring on ground is great, but being able to say, if I want to, I can explore under the sea is revolutionary. It's about freedom on as many levels as we can find it. That those all become parts of our healing modalities. So conquering fears, that's the work. Anyone else have anything to share else about what you got going on? Give a plug. Give your YouTube channels. Where you guys talking? Where you guys sharing at? What's your handle?
Well, you know where to find me on all social
I
platforms.
know where to find you,
am
but
at
other folk may not know where to find you. How they find you?
at the Gallivanting Grandma on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
All right. Wendy, where you at?
I'm nowhere.
She's
but
on
I'm
my channel
everywhere.
until she
Okay.
get
I've
ready
got
to do
some
hers.
things up in the air. I'm
She's
things
sidekicking.
going
She's
on.
sidekicking on the Gallivanting Grandma. I got you. Ain't no problem.
Yep. We are the Suitcase Sisters. So when I post up, I give Wendy the shout out as we're the Suitcase Sisters.
Right. Danielle, what you got? Where you talking at? Where you sharing at?
Wendy be cracking me up. I'm sorry. It's just so hilarious. But yes, on YouTube at Refreshing Words, on Substack at Refreshing Words. I'm on a bit of a hiatus as I focus all my energies on winding down this career, but that's where I can be found. There are old things there, and there will be new postings toward the end of the year as I gear up for my next adventure.
Excellent. And Weeda's at Wise Heart Gardens on YouTube. So we want to support that and get her to that 50 so she can do her YouTube lives. She and I did a podcast recently, and just the technology of it. So help share that. They can find more about the work here at globalundergroundrailroad.com. If individuals are interested in some of the greater work, they can go to nowastedtime.com and see really a little bit more information about the collaborative work that's happening. Where am I at? Lorana. Look for Lorana. I think Instagram is Sustainable Lorana. I think YouTube is I Am Lorana. Facebook is probably Lorana Hughes. I don't really know. Lorana is not an uncommon. You can find me. Just put Lorana in your Google and find me. Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Anyone have any parting messages for us? Thank you so much for giving me your time in the middle of the night in wherever y'all. Where y'all at? Bangkok? Where you guys at?
Bangkok, Thailand.
Over there in Thailand. You guys are on the other side of the world. Any closing thoughts, wisdom, sharing, inspiration that you have, but just my gratitude for you guys coming back together and sharing in this way.
Watch your figs. Be mindful of your figs. They're with us all the time. but just be mindful of them. They rear their heads when you least expect it.
For sure.
But they're there to be conquered these days, though. I can
Absolutely.
deal with them.
Yep.
They're kind of my friends, you know, in
Yeah.
an abstract sort of way.
Get the healing. Do the work. Do the work. Lorana makes it affordable. She makes it accessible. Plan it out. Like you said, you know, $500, whatever the cost is to you know, be considered in this program. Really take it into consideration. Do the work. It's transformative.
Thank you. Well, as we have closed so many times before in our Sankofa circles, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. And so today, like many days before in both of the cohorts, we honor the work of healing. We thank you all for participating and for being courageous in sharing in such a public way your healing journey. I wish you well. Live life fully today. And thank y'all for joining.
Swadika.
All right, guys, I'm going to go switch gears, finish eating my fruit, try to get my body together, and I have to go to the theater. We are 3 practices away from dress rehearsal. So Josefina Alvarez got to come into the body and get myself together. Lord Jesus, y'all pray for me. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. I didn't understand. I didn't count the cost because I didn't have a clue about how to count the cost effectively. And I underestimated what this was going to cost me. So bless me. Bless me. So y'all keep me in your prayers and especially for safe travels as I go.
Absolutely.
I'll be looking for you guys on the other side and be looking for opportunities to connect again in whatever way the universe opens up. So then, come on back, but you better call before you get here. Make sure somebody here to let you in. Livia will let you in and have the light on for you in case I might be gone.
In case, yeah.
And permanent residency gonna let me do a little more motion because I ain't got to count as many days. I got my first 2 years. I can be gone 6 months, so I may be, have backpack will travel.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what else I can find to get myself into. So, but for now,
I still have my tram via and my bus pass. So
you straight, girl. Somebody let you in. Come on, somebody will let
like
you
$3, on one and $2.79.
You know that's right. For sure. Thank you, ladies, again for letting me be a part of this part of your journey.
So good to see y'all again.
You too. See you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, y'all. And they are back into their global living with new tools in their toolbox. So it has been a joy to participate in our 2024-2025 Heal Together initiative, the Gangsta Grannies Global Work Exchange. And this is really the end of that initiative, and a good end at that. I'm so grateful to have worked with these ladies over this year, and off to the next season. Take care. Live life fully today.